Welcome to our deep dive into the dark side of cyber warfare and digital espionage. In this digital age, the battlefield has shifted from physical terrains to the virtual world, where lines of code can be as lethal as bullets. You might think, oh my, isn't that a bit dramatic? But the reality is far more alarming than most of us realize. And to that, I say no, this is not an exaggeration. The threats we face are real and growing every day, because we're not talking about some teenager in their parents' basement trying to steal your iTunes password. This isn't about petty cybercrimes or isolated incidents. We're talking about sophisticated attacks, espionage on a global scale, and the very real potential for chaos in our increasingly digital lives. These are coordinated efforts by highly skilled individuals and state-sponsored actors. In today's interconnected world, these threats are more significant and dangerous than ever. Our reliance on digital infrastructure makes us vulnerable in ways we never imagined. Think about it. Our power grids, financial systems, healthcare, it's all online. Every aspect of our daily lives is intertwined with digital networks. And what happens when those systems become battlefields? The consequences can be catastrophic, affecting millions of lives in an instant. Buckle up, dear viewers, because things are about to get unsettlingly real. The stakes are higher than ever, and the need for awareness and preparedness is critical. This isn't some dystopian sci-fi film. This is the reality we're facing right now. Cyber attacks are happening every day, and their impact is felt across the globe. Over the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain on this digital battlefield, exposing the tactics, the players, and the very real consequences of this new age of conflict. We'll explore how these cyber threats are evolving and what measures are being taken to combat them. Stay with us as we navigate through this complex and critical issue.
Now, when we talk about cyber warfare, it's not just about rogue actors or teenagers with too much time on their hands. It's a whole different ball game. This is the big leagues, folks, with nation-states assembling entire divisions dedicated to digital warfare. These are highly trained professionals, often working under the radar. We're talking about countries like Russia, China, the United States, North Korea. They're all in on this. Each of these nations has its own cyber units, working tirelessly to outmaneuver each other. And trust me, they're not just sending strongly worded emails. These operations are sophisticated, involving months or even years of planning. Take the 2015 attack on Ukraine's power grid, for example. This wasn't just a random act of vandalism. Imagine being at home, lights go out, and suddenly 250,000 people are plunged into darkness. It was a calculated move to create chaos and fear. That was Russia sending a message, flexing their digital muscles. They wanted to show the world what they were capable of. And that's just one example. There have been countless other incidents, each with its own set of devastating consequences. These attacks can cripple infrastructure, disrupt elections, even steal state secrets. The implications are far-reaching and can affect every aspect of our lives. It's the modern-day equivalent of a military invasion, just without the tanks and the, visible army. Instead, the battlefield is digital, and the soldiers are hackers. Governments around the world are now investing heavily in cybersecurity, trying to stay one step ahead. It's a constant game of cat and mouse with no end in sight. As technology continues to evolve, so too will the tactics and strategies of these state-sponsored hackers. The stakes are higher than ever, and the battle for digital supremacy is just beginning.
But hey, it's not just governments that are targets. In today's interconnected world, the lines between state and corporate interests are increasingly blurred. Oh no, cyber warfare also has a nasty habit of bleeding into the corporate world. Companies, big and small, are finding themselves in the crosshairs of sophisticated cyber attacks. We're talking about economic sabotage on a massive scale. The financial markets are particularly vulnerable, with stock indices fluctuating wildly due to these digital incursions. Companies like Sony Pictures, they know this all too well. The entertainment industry, with its valuable intellectual property, is a prime target. Remember back in 2014 when their entire network got turned upside down? It was a wake-up call for many in the corporate world. That was North Korea's doing, allegedly orchestrated by a group with the wonderfully ominous name, the Lazarus Group. This group has been linked to numerous high-profile cyber attacks. They stole confidential data, unreleased films, even embarrassing emails between executives. The fallout was immense, affecting not just Sony but the entire industry. It was a PR nightmare, cost them millions, and all because someone wanted to throw a digital tantrum over a Seth Rogen movie. The implications of such attacks go far beyond immediate financial losses. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the surface, there's a vast unseen world of cyber threats that most companies are ill-prepared to handle. Intellectual property theft, financial market manipulation, it's all fair game in this digital Wild West. The stakes are incredibly high, and the rules are constantly changing. Think about the designs for your latest smartphone, the formula for that life-saving drug. That information is incredibly valuable, and it's being targeted as we speak. Corporate espionage is no longer about spies in trench coats, it's about hackers in hoodies. Companies are investing heavily in cybersecurity, but the attackers are always one step ahead. It's a constant game of cat and mouse, with billions of dollars at stake. This is a global issue, affecting every industry and every country. International cooperation and advanced technology are crucial in combating these threats. As we move forward, the importance of securing our digital assets cannot be overstated. The future of our economy depends on it.
Now, let's talk about something even more insidious: the manipulation of information. See, in the old days, if you wanted to influence an election, you needed leaflets, maybe a rousing speech or two. But now, you just need a few well-placed memes and an army of bots. The 2016 United States elections, my friends, were a stark wake-up call. We saw firsthand how foreign actors can weaponize social media, spread misinformation, and sow discord among the electorate. It's like a digital whisper campaign on steroids, designed to erode trust and manipulate public opinion. And the scary part is, it's incredibly effective. We're bombarded with so much information these days, it's hard to separate fact from fiction. And that's exactly what these digital puppet masters are counting on.
Chapter 4. Your data, their weapon. Weaponization of data. But here's the thing. It's not just about stealing information. It's about what they do with it. Imagine your most sensitive data, social security numbers, financial records, medical histories, falling into the wrong hands. Not great, right? Well, in 2015, the U.S. Office of Personnel Management, or OPM, experienced a breach of epic proportions. We're talking about the personal data of over 20 million government employees, just ripe for the picking. And what happens when that data gets weaponized? Blackmail, identity theft, even the potential to discredit or manipulate individuals on a massive scale. It's like handing over the keys to the kingdom, except the kingdom is your entire life, and the keys are made of your deepest, darkest secrets.
Chapter 5. Corporate Espionage, the Digital Heist. Now, if you think corporations are just innocent bystanders in all of this, think again. They're not just victims, they're also competitors in this digital arms race, and some are more aggressive than others. Take China, for example. They've been accused of engaging in rampant cyber espionage against companies like Google, Boeing, even stealing trade secrets from the good folks who make your favorite energy drinks. It's all about gaining an economic edge, even if it means bending the rules. Or, just straight up breaking them. And it's not just China. Countries are using their intelligence agencies to steal intellectual property, gather financial data, and basically get ahead by any digital means necessary. It's the ultimate form of corporate espionage played out on a global scale.
Now, if you thought things couldn't get any more unnerving, hold on to your hats because we're about to talk about the future of cyber warfare. And spoiler alert, it involves a lot more robots. That's right, artificial intelligence, or AI, is changing the game. We're talking about autonomous malware that can learn and adapt, self-replicating viruses that spread like digital wildfire, and attacks so sophisticated, they make the stuff we've talked about so far look like child's play. Imagine a world where AI systems are waging war against each other, making decisions at lightning speed, without any human oversight. It sounds like science fiction, but the reality is, this technology is developing faster than our ability to control it. And that, my friends, is a terrifying thought.
Now, here's the thing about cyber warfare. It doesn't discriminate. Sure, governments and corporations might be the primary targets, but we, the humble civilians, are increasingly caught in the crossfire. Think about it. Our homes are becoming smarter, our cars are connected, even our refrigerators can browse the internet these days. It's convenient, sure, but it also makes us incredibly vulnerable. Imagine hackers shutting down hospitals, holding transportation networks hostage, or even causing widespread blackouts. It sounds like something out of a disaster movie, but these are all very real possibilities in our hyper-connected world. So who polices this digital Wild West? Who sets the rules of engagement? Well, that's the thing. There really aren't any, at least not any that everyone can agree on. The international community is still struggling to define what constitutes an act of cyber warfare, let alone how to respond to it. It's a legal and ethical minefield with no easy answers, and this ambiguity creates a dangerous vacuum. Without clear rules or consequences, nations are free to act with impunity, launching attacks with little fear of reprisal. It's a recipe for escalation, and it's only a matter of time before a digital conflict spills over into the real world with potentially devastating consequences.
Thank you for joining us on this exploration of cyber warfare and digital espionage. I know it's heavy stuff, but it's important to be aware of the threats we face in this digital age. We can't bury our heads in the sand and pretend it's not happening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into critical issues. And in the meantime, stay safe online, be mindful of the information you share, and for goodness sake, change your passwords every once in a while. Stay safe online and see you in the next video.